Okay, so this is video 2 of creating a personal budget or creating a personal financial plan. And so at the first of the year, we took a little money personality test to kind of give you an idea of the different types of money personalities that you may have. And so you took that test and kind of figured out from that what you might be. Well, this is a little review over that. And these are some additional type personalities than the ones that but some of them mean the same thing. So we have a saver, a spender, a risk taker, a security seeker, and a flyer. And so we'll go over each one of these, and then we'll do a little exercise for you to try to figure out, based on what you know about yourself, which one of these you think you might be. So the first one is saver. And this refers to an individual who likes to save money rather than spend it. They're the kind of person that enjoys spending money. They want to see their bank account, their savings account, their investments balance and it growing. So they're not interested, they're not very materialistic, so they're not interested in buying a lot of things. They like to save money. And they usually, when they do buy something, they're going to look for deals. They're going to be the ones that clip coupons and do all kinds of time-saving or money-saving strategies to try to save money. Coupons, they'll try to negotiate deals, things like that. They like to save money. And then there's spenders, and this refers to an individual who enjoys spending money on either himself or others. So this is the kind of person that likes to spend money. They like to go shopping. They like to buy things. It gives them gratification to buy things and spend money. This is where you get money, you get your paycheck, and you've heard the term burns a hole in your pocket. They want to spend it, even if they like to buy things for other people. There's people that likes to give gifts and buy things for other people, but they like spending money, and they believe that money is meant to be spent. You might hear one of these people say, well, you can't take it with you. You can't take money with you when you die, so let's just enjoy life while we have it and spend it. Then there's the risk taker. So this refers to an individual who enjoys investing money into high-risk ventures. They look for ways to invest in things such as new companies or different adventures. So these are the kind of people that would, bet on the horses or go to casinos, and they're risk takers. They want to. They're looking for a great big thing that's going to pay them off a little money. So they might be the people that invested in Facebook when everybody thought Facebook was crazy. So those people that did that invested in Facebook and Twitter and things like that sounded silly at the time, and it was a high risk thing to invest in. Those that did, then they became quite rich. So what can happen with risk takers is it's just 50-50. So they might invest in something and make a whole lot of money. Maybe whoever invested in Apple or Amazon, they made a whole lot of money when it was a brand new company. Or you could invest in something that goes flop and you lose all your money and you go bankrupt. So it's just 50-50. It's just kind of like gambling. When you put money in the slot machine, it's not even 50-50. You could win big or you could lose big. One of the two. So those are risk takers. And then there's the security seeker, and this refers to an individual who plans for the future and is prepared for any type of financial situations. So not like the saver. They save money for security. They want to know that they have enough money in case a disaster happens, or in case they want to. They'll invest in safe. They're going to invest in something safe, like certificates of deposit at the bank or savings accounts, something really safe, so they don't want to lose any of their money. They're afraid to lose any of their money. They want to make sure that they have enough money for retirement. They want to make sure that if something happens, an emergency happens, that they have that money. So they want to feel secure, financially secure. So that's the security seeker. And then the flyer. So this refers to an individual who does not consider money as a necessity and doesn't have much of an opinion on money. So they just really don't care about money. They're people that view money as a tool, which creates security, status symbols, or anything else. And they put relationships over money and money decisions. So they just don't want to think about money. They don't like it to deal with it. They don't want somebody else to handle it. And there's some people that are like this. They're flyers. So some common budget strategies is that we need to ensure that expenses are not more than income, right? So you want to make sure that when you do your budget that you have enough income, you have enough money coming in to cover what you're paying out, what all your expenses are, your rent, your utilities, car payments, things like that. Those are expenses. You want to make sure that those are lower than what you have coming in. So expenses are everything that you spend money on, everything that goes out of your bank account for something, whether it's food, eating out, entertainment, buying clothes, your rent, your telephone bill, all of those things are expenses. And anything income is money that is deposited into your account. So one of the things you need to create a savings plan or an emergency fund. So an emergency fund is something that you would have in case there's an emergency. So you would want to put this in like a savings account that's easily available. So for instance, if your car breaks down and you don't have that figured in your budget and it's going to cost $300 to get it fixed and that's not in your budget every month, then if you have this little emergency fund, and it's recommended that you at least have $1,000 for teenagers, maybe $500 or $1,000 in a savings account for those little emergencies that might come up. So if you had that $1,000 in your savings account, then you could take $300 out of that and get your car fixed, and it wouldn't affect your budget. So emergency funds is important. So developing a personal budget, so some other strategies, it involves asking these questions. Is my total spending more than my total income? So if your total spending is more than your total income, you need to look at ways to either decrease how much money that you're spending or increase how much money that you're making or taking in. So it's just that simple. So will this budget allow me to reach my goals? And we worked on our goals, and so will the budget, am I budgeting enough money in there to reach my financial goals that I have in place? Should I adjust my spending in order to reach my goals? So you might have to cut back in some areas. Maybe you find that you're eating out too much. Maybe you could cut in that area. Maybe you could get a different cell phone plan. Ways to cut money, to cut expenses so that you can save more, so you can have more money in your budget. And then if you have a surplus, what should I do with the extra money? So that's a good thing to have. So if you have more income, you have more money left at the end of the month than what you paid out, then you want to find a way, a smart way to save that, like invest it or save it. That would be a good thing to have. Maybe you're going to invest it in traveling or education. Maybe put some aside for college expenses or insurance. It also involves considering saving money for emergencies, and we talked about it, the emergency fund. So emergency savings covers the basic living cost in case there are changes in income and expenses. And after you have that small emergency fund, it's recommended that you have 6 months worth of living expenses, because 6 months, if you were to lose your job and you weren't getting paid, it might take you that long to find another job, comparable job, that would replace that income that you lost when you lost your job. So 6 months living expenses would allow you to not be devastated when you lost your job. You would have that little cushion so that you could go out and look for the job that you need to get in order to continue with your budget.